Hello everyone, it's Jennifer and thank you for joining me today. It's been a minute since I've done a recording and I have so many ideas and so many projects to record for you guys, and I have stuff lined up. I have a real long L-shaped table that I work on, and I've got project after project after project after project all lined up here, but I wanted to get this out, and here's why. If you recall last month with the Silk Magical Mystery Bead Box, we had a very special visitor in the Create-a-thon. We had Nealay Patel from SilverSilk More. And what he has done is he has been creating some of his amazing products, coordinating the colors with the Magical Mystery Bead Box. So if you remember, during that Create-a-thon, we had some pearlescent chain, we had some capture chain and pipe chain, and some leather cord that was wire knitted as well. And the colors all went along with the theme of that box. Well, this month is no different. Nealay has done it again, and he created what I have here on my table. This is the Limoncello, and this is leather cording. It is a leather cording that has the wire wrapped around it, and it fits on his custom findings perfectly. So what I have here is I have a single strand, and this works with his capture chain, works with the pipe chain, and works with the leather cording. It's just the perfect diameter to get these cords in and use his already custom findings for that. So for this project, what we're going to do is we're going to use some of the double strand, and I also brought out some triple strand. He has a triple strand as well. Then for the second project that we're going to be doing in this video, we will use some of the single strand cording, and we're going to make a necklace, and that's what this is for now. So for this one here, we are going to be using some beads from La Dolce Vita, and that is one of the bead mixes included in the Magical Mystery Bead Box. And this is what I have left over after my initial. When I did my unboxing, I also made a pair of earrings and used some beads. Then this project that we're going to be doing today is using some beads, as well as what I have off to the side for a necklace. So this is what we have left when we're all done with that. Now, if this earring looks a little familiar, you are right. Nealay did a video, I don't know, few years ago, using some of his capture chain. It was either capture chain or pearlescent chain. And I thought that I would bring that back because I love that look with this whole knotting. And I did not know about SilverSilk at the time. So of course I don't have that same kit that he used or anything. So I thought, well, I will just bring it back myself. And that's what we're going to go ahead and do in our first project. And what we're going to use is we're going to use some of the double strand, two of the double strand custom findings. And how you know it's a custom finding is because of the SS that is on each of the findings. Okay, so then we're also going to use, from that bead mix, we're going to use one of these chunky orange beads. We're going to use two different bead caps. I thought that's why I had an odd number in there. We're going to be using two different bead caps. So we're going to be using this one here. This is one of the big ones. And then one of the antique bronze ones, because I like to stack. And then one of these gorgeous, are these star cut? And then from my stash, I have a bald head pin. I have an ear wire. And Nealay has bald head pins and ear wires that match this, and they have the same exact finish. Unfortunately, I couldn't find my ear wires, so I must be out. But so I just grabbed one from my stash, and then I have a big, I think this is 9mm jump ring to get that all put on there correctly. Now, couple years back, we had, or might have been a year back, we had these same bead caps, very similar, if not the same. And what I did was, so it's round, right? Well, this is not round. This is flat. And so what I did was I just put them on there and then I just pushed up against it. So then now it looks a little more oval. And so that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to go ahead and grab a head pin, and my head pin is 2 inches, and it is exactly enough to get around the 3 times. And it finishes around the front, but if you tuck it in a little bit, then you won't see the end sticking out. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add our bead. We're going to add our bead cap. And again, just spin it around and get that on there, and then just form it. Just form that bead cap over the bead, and then it won't poke out, it won't do anything, and it just kind of very versatile bead cap. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put that other bead cap on just because I think it looks kind of cute. And then we'll go ahead and put that on there just like that. And you can see there's not a lot of room to work with, but we are going to make the most of it. So we're going to need some round nose pliers, we're going to need some cutters, and we're going to need some chain nose pliers. So let's go ahead and get that. And these are very, very sturdy head pins. Okay, go ahead and come in about here and form over. Just hold on to that, rotate, push to the back. And again, we have a very, very small tail that we're going to be working with, but that's okay, because we're not going to have any waste on this one. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get our chain nose pliers on there. And then I'm going to bring in a second pair, and I'm going to kind of let go of it a few times. It's going to snap out of my grip a couple times too. And then when we come around this third time, you can grab it, but just be very careful. Then what I did was I just kind of started squeezing this around. And again, I'm being very, 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 very careful because you've got glass beads here. So now let's go ahead and get that tucked around. And I've taken some of the finish off, but that's all right. I'm okay with that because we're kind of going a little mixed metal here with having some gold and having some bronze. And then this, okay, so now we have it. And this here is his antique gold. Now what I'm going to do first before I even get started is I need to open this up a little bit, because if I go to try and push this in, it's not going to go in. So I'm going to go ahead and just put my needle nose here and just open that up a little bit, and then come on this side too so you have it nice and even, and just open it up, help that out a little bit. Then you'll be able to, after we get it primed, you'll be able to get that shoved in there. All right, so now what you're going to do is you are going to basically tie a knot, and then you're going to bring it back around just like that. Then you're just going to go ahead and just start wiggling around, because you need to have some room up here, right? So then just start wiggling it around a little bit. And what's good about this leather is that it really does cling to it. You know, it has some texture, so you are going to have a little bit of resistance on it because it's grabbing onto that leather or the wire. Okay, and then you want your ends to be about the same. Actually, you want them to be the same. Get them primed. All I did was just kind of rub and pull, because you can rearrange all the rest of this after. The main thing is just to get enough room in here to get that pushed in. Okay, so we have that nice and pushed in. If you have little wire fuzzies sticking out, that's okay because we can trim those off. But you want to make sure you have some in there, stuffed in there, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my flat nose pliers that have been dipped in Tool Magic. And what this does is this, I just took that out. What this does is it has a rubber-like finish. And so then I'm not going to ruin my custom findings. Okay, so let's go ahead and shove that in there again. And again, if I have wires sticking out, I'm okay because I'm going to be able to trim that off. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, put that over the top and give it a squeeze. And when I do that, I'm going to flip it over, give it another squeeze. And I don't want any gaps. And this will assure that everything is in there nice and tight. You don't need to use any glue unless you feel like you want to, but I'm going to go ahead and come in and just trim off those little wire fuzzies that are sticking out and they're not even existent anymore. Now what you can do is, since that's all in there nice and neat, now you can start moving your little circle around here a little bit. Okay. I feel like I need to bring this down a little bit. Okay, and get that all nice and formed. Get that all nice and wiggled through. And then you'll want to make sure that you have the same, that it's kind of the same on both sides. Okay, and then what I did on this one, so this one, it looks like the neck is just a little bit less. So I'm going to go ahead and just push that down a little bit and get that rearranged. There we go. And then I remembered that I want to have it mirrored, right? So then I have my knot going a different way. All right, so now what we're going to do is open up our jump ring. Okay, and you have to remember, you got to get it around both. Okay, then the front, I'm going to make sure everything's all twisted okay. The front is where you start the wrap, at least for me. It just looks better. Okay. And then let's go ahead and bring that in together. You can hear that lock into place. And now I have my earring. Let's go ahead and open up the ear wire. Get that put on there. And like I said, Nealay does have ear wires that match perfect. And again, this is a Nealay design that I'm just kind of bringing back because I wanted to make some. And this was perfect. So there is our pair of earrings. Quick, easy, and they are so cute. All right, so now let's bring out our necklace. Okay, so here is the next project, and it's completely different than what I had initially intended on. I had initially thought that I would use up some of this garnet softlex or even this champagne that's kind of a rose color. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to do, maybe if I did some wrapping, I would use some red wildfire. And then I also had some frost out, so I had all this out. And I completely changed it and went to 26 gauge wire. So we'll see how that works. All right, so I wanted to share, I shared with you the single strand, double strand, triple strand for the antique gold. Just to show you some other colors, he also has this antique copper, has a shiny copper, also has a beautiful, I think he calls it dark rhodium on his site. It's like a black gunmetal shiny. He has shiny gold and then also silver. And so be sure to check out his website when you go to his website to get some of these cords. So this one here, again, is the leather. And again, that's on his website. If you go to silversilkonline.com, up at the very top, he has a Jesse James Beads collaboration tab. I will put a link in this description that will take you directly to that tab. Okay, so what I have here is, I want a short necklace. So let me tell you the length of this. It is 17 inches, and we are going to use some single strand. And then, like I said, I have these little quizzes here all set up. And what I did was I just took the little faceted beads from the box and then put them at the bottom and ran up my 26 gauge. And then what I'm going to do is I want to wrap around this leather cording. Again, not my idea. This would be a Nealay idea, but we are going to go ahead and do that. So now let's see here. This one's going to be in the middle, this longer one. So we're going to be a little graduated. So the outside is one of these little, well, I shouldn't say little, but one of these beads here from the mix. And then we're going to use one of the antique copper bead caps, one of the rondelles, and then one of those little chunky nugget type faceted beads. We're going to have 2 of those. Then we're going to have 2 of these where we have another one of those little nugget beads. We're going to use one of the barrel beads, the gold bead cap, and then one of these gorgeous rondelles. I love this finish. This is like my favorite finish on a bead that JJB does. I absolutely love it. Then in the middle, so we're going to have 2 of those. And then in the middle, we're going to make it a little bit more lengthy by having one of those beads at the bottom. And then we're going to have 2 of the barrel beads with the bronze bead cap with one of these gorgeous rondelles in between. Now, if you'd rather use a head pin, you can use a head pin, a knotted head pin, however you wish. But I needed something that I could wrap around this leather so it all stays in place. Okay, so I'm going to move those off to the side. Okay, so I've done one already, and yes, I have a bunch of waste. So Maria, if you're watching, but I do save these. I save these, even these little pieces here, because I will do, if I'm testing something out, I will use the thinner gauge just to kind of see how it's going to look, because I keep them in my scraps. So we're going to go ahead and bring out our second one, and this one's going to go right in the middle. And because what I was doing was I was testing out whether to use a round nose plier to get around the leather, or to go ahead and just wrap around. And what I'm going to do is I am just going to wrap around, and I'm going to come in at the middle, and I'm going to really butt this up against the leather, so that we get a nice tight fit. And I'm just forming it around. And with using 26 gauge, wow, it just really makes it easy to do this. And you get that nice bulky, you get a nice bulky wrap. And it just, I don't know, to me, it just looks nice and clean. And again, I tried it a couple of different ways, and this was the best. I think this is actually how Nealay does it. I think he actually just forms it around. And then I'm going to come in and tuck that back tail in. And just get in there and get that tucked in. Okay. And just make sure that everything is okay. And so like when you look at here, it looks like it's a little off. So I'm just going to go ahead and just bend it up a little bit. All right. And we're just staying with the natural curve of the knitted leather. Okay. So now let's go ahead and add this one in on this side. Okay. Sorry about that. I keep on getting little messages. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that again over here, and I want to try and have the same amount of space between here and here as I have here and here. Okay, and so I am going to go ahead and come here. I'm going to get that right up against there so that there's a nice tight fit, and then I'm going to start wrapping. And wrapping, and I'm going to wrap it around just a few times, for one thing, to make sure that it's nice and snug and it's not going to move around. Like that one moves around a little bit. I might have to change that. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, but this one is nice and snug. And then come in, give it a little bit of a trim, and then you'll see that end sticking out. Just go ahead and bring in, and just make sure you're grabbing both of those wires because there's two there, and just get those tucked in. Okay, and then again, we can do rearranging after we're done. Like you see how this one here, I want this bottom bead to be like that. And so you can just make those changes after. Okay. All right. So now let's go ahead and grab this last one. And this is the one that has the bottom bead, the barrel bead, the gold bead cap, and those yummy, 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 yummy rondelles. Okay. So let's go ahead, and we want to try and come in at about the same and just get that all wrapped around. It's actually pretty easy to do this. And also too, if you decide that you want to maybe bring down your wraps, you can bring down your wraps too and continue wrapping around your beads if you want to add a little bit of extra. So if you want to do that like on your top bead. Okay, let's go ahead and get this all nice and snug in there. Go ahead and give it a trim. I know, look at all this waste. Okay, but I'll use it. Okay, so now let's just make sure we get in there and get that all nice and tucked in, nice and tidy. Okay. Oh man, I love it. Okay, now our last one. Okay, let's just kind of get that in. And just make sure you get that nice and snug around there. Okay, and then start wrapping. And it is a little hard when you have the beads right up above it, but it's okay. Okay, and then just get wrapping. You can make this as bulky as you want. And again, if you want to just kind of like bring it down and do that and just add a little bit of more texture, that would be stunning. Okay, so let's get that nice and tugged in there. That looks good. Oh my goodness. And again, this is mine, so I cannot wait to use this and wear it. Okay. And yes, I have tons of scraps, but it's all right. I'll use them for something. Oops. Okay, and then just make sure that you have your little tail stuck in there. Okay, and oh my goodness, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And again, I did not come up with the idea of wire wrapping around it. That's all Nealay. All Nealay. Okay. Oh, I don't have a clasp. However, though, I do, because again, Nealay has clasps and jump rings that are the same color. So let's go ahead and bring the same kind of like tone. So now what we're going to do is we're going to prime the ends here. And let's go ahead and open these up just a little bit. Go ahead and just insert your needle nose and open that up oh so slightly. And go ahead and insert. You can see how it's in there. And then bring back your dipped flat nose and go ahead and just make sure that you're getting that completely closed. And if you have wires in between, which they're not sticking out, but I can see them, just go ahead and give it another squeeze, but just try not to totally distort your finding there. And if you have wires that stick out, just go ahead and grab your cutters and just cut them off. But I'm super happy with that. Okay, let's go ahead and get this opened up. And I want my SS to be on the same side. So I'm just following the natural curvature. And my SS is on top there. So I'm going to go ahead, let's go ahead and prime this. And I'm just rubbing it back and forth. Go ahead and insert. and then come in with your, you can use nylon jaw pliers too. But what I found is I was actually slipping off, and it was, yeah, doesn't give it that good of a grip. But if that's what you have, you can do it. And just when you do that, just be very careful. And what I found was that coming in from the back helped out. And then I would come in on the side and do this. And so see, it didn't slip. Well, it's closed anyways, but come in from the back and just, because then you can hold up against it and you can do that. Okay. And then you just turn it around and there you go. Okay. So now let's go ahead and get these opened up. This is the front. I feel like my little tag is, the little tail is sticking out. So let's go ahead and make sure that it's not. Okay. All right. And then again, just rearrange things around. I feel like it's right there. It is. Okay. There we go. There we go. It's in there now. Okay. I just love all these colors. So my clasp is going to go on this side because this is the front. So then I'm going to turn that around, and that's the front. And so this is where I'm right-handed. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this on here. And if you're nervous about clasping onto an open jump ring, I know, because I get that way too, but it just kind of depends on the jump ring. And these jump rings are really, really, really good. And they lock into place and pretty sturdy. You can also add some chain. You can add some chain, like a chain link if you want to. Okay. And go ahead and get that. Perfect. And there we have our gorgeous little necklace that I cannot wait to wear, along with my beautiful little earrings. And there is our project for today. So please give this video a huge thumbs up if you like it. Comment. I love to see what everybody has to say. Subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. We still have some beads here to use, so we will be using some of those. I also have some chain that I want to use, and oh man, we have some gorgeousness in here still left. I still have this much left of this leather cording that I can very easily use in a bracelet or as part of a necklace. So please do use the link in the description. It is my affiliate link, and also to JJB does, they can see that my viewers are subscribing based on my videos or even buying from their website, because we have some fun stuff coming up. I can't even describe to you how fun it's going to be. This month is just absolutely packed, and I'm going to be out of town for my day job work at the beginning of March. So there'll be a little bit of, hopefully I can get some videos pre-recorded and get them released while I'm out. So I just can't wait for you guys to see everything. There's so much. Also too, Beads and Blooms, that is upcoming event for Jesse James Beads. It's a 2-week workshop, and I believe it's 3 days one week and 3 days the next, or 2 days. It might be 2 and 2 or 3 and 3. There's also going to be a Zoom bead along, and guess who your instructor is? Yes, it's me. And I can't wait because I get to see all of you guys while we're beading along. I cannot wait for you to see what I selected for our project. It's very versatile, very, very versatile. You can very easily make it your own. And yeah, so be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on the next video. We still have so much left in this Magical Mystery Bead Box to work with. I'm going to try and use every single bit of it. So it's going to take a little while. So we're probably going to roll into mid-March until we get the next Magical Mystery Bead Box. But please do subscribe so you don't miss out. And be sure to check out SilverSilkOnline.com so that you can grab your own leather capture chain, pearlescent chain, pipe chain that was made for this box exclusively. And don't forget to jump over to Jesse James Beads and all the goodiness that they have there. I did notice that they just released some of the 2024 Pantone Color of the Year Peach Fuzz, and so you don't want to miss out on that. And until next time, have a good one.